Well. I have a review of a whole line of new fragrances by the House of Broken Anatomy Perfumes coming up. Hey fragrance family, I'm David and I'm a fragrance bro, of course your best source for everything fragrance related. By the way, did you need some coffee? I have a coffee mug conveniently right here in my hand. The best coffee cup in the world is sold by me. Notes, top coffee, mid coffee, base coffee. You can have your Fragrance Bros mug, link down below. Anyway, today I want to do a review on a new line of fragrances by the House of Broken Anatomy Perfumes. The owner and perfumer contacted me about a line that he was coming out with, and this is the bottle right here, beautiful bottle. I really love this bottle and this line a lot, so today we're going to be talking about all three fragrances in the line. And if the bottle weren't good enough, check this out. That sound is a sound of a good box. All right, now if I timed this review just right, this fragrance house has just launched. They have three fragrances in the line: Chasing Memories, which I have right here, Brain Dance, and Burnt Remedy. I believe that all three of these fragrances are extrait de parfum, which is pretty much the highest concentration you can get in a perfume. All right, so the line is a USA-based fragrance house. The owner and perfumer is Ryan Handis, who lives in Arizona. He's actually a firefighter for his full-time job, as of right now anyway, and I think he has a really cool point of view on his line. I'm gonna quickly go over all three fragrances, explain the notes to you, and what I get out of them. Now, of course, as a disclaimer real quick, he did send this to me for review. He sent me Chasing Memories, and I have samples of the other two. That's not going to change my opinions at all. I have mostly great things to say about this line, but I just wanted to disclose that he sent that to me for review. All right, so let's start with Chasing Memories right here. I think Chasing Memories is one of my favorites in the line. This is a fresh scent. Chasing Memories is supposed to be kind of reminiscent of the pool, of summer, of just relaxing in a summer day. The notes in this are bergamot, grapefruit, orris, orange flower, sandalwood, and white musk. Right away, I get a lot of citrus in this. You get a lot of the bergamot and grapefruit, but you also get the orange flower. The orange flower softens it up a lot. This is one of those fragrances that I don't necessarily think it does anything necessarily new, but it does it really well. If I'm gonna get a citrus scent, I typically like the ones that feel softer, that are round. They're not sharp, they're not rindy, they're not acidic, they're not aggressive like that. One thing that I get in this is I get kind of almost an aldehydic type thing, almost like water coming out of the sprinkler or something. And if you have played in the pool at all, and you've gotten some of those maybe blow up toys or maybe floaties that you've had to play when you were a little kid, you know that kind of plasticky type of smell that you get whenever you blow up maybe a beach ball or a floaty or something. There's something in this that kind of reminds me of that too. I don't necessarily know if it was intentional or not, but I get something like that in here, and I think that's really cool. Performance on this was pretty good. Even though it's an extrait de parfum, I didn't think that it was too powerful, which I think is fine. This sits closer to the skin on me as far as projection and longevity. It was pretty good too. I would say about in the 9-hour range, which is great, I think, for a citrus scent. As it dries, a lot of that musky kind of woody quality comes up, and I really like where the dry down goes with this. One of the things I've noticed across this line is that the dry downs on these kind of have this really nice kind of soft woody character that I really resonate with. I really like that in a fragrance. So I really like this as kind of a softer citrus type of scent that has kind of that woody, musky quality in the dry down. Really great. Chasing Memories, awesome. Next is Brain Dance, and Brain Dance is supposed to be kind of a semi-aquatic type of scent that has anise, geranium, cardamom, aldehydes, oak moss, and ambroxan in it. Brain Dance to me immediately reminds me of something like Acqua di Gio, or maybe Every Storm a Serenade by Imaginary Authors, or maybe even Oud Mineral by Tom Ford. It kind of sits in that type of range. And when I mentioned Acqua di Gio, it's definitely an elevated version of that. And there's more to it than that. What I like about Brain Dance is that it sits in that kind of aquatic range, but it offers some more things in there. One of the first notes that jumps out at me is actually the anise, and the anise in this reminds me a lot of black licorice. There's almost a molasses overtone in the anise, so it does remind me a lot of like the best type of black licorice, which I love. I really like that at the start. There's almost like a halite quality as well. And then it moves on into that kind of herbal, aquatic type of thing. And as it dries down, it loses that kind of sweet black licorice type of thing and goes more into the kind of musky, ambroxan, salty type of thing that it has. really great. I think Brain Dance is one of those fragrances that there is a lot in here that people will like. And there's a deceptive complexity to this scent. I think that the people are gonna get different things out of this. Where I get black licorice, some people might not get. Some people might pick up on the hay note a lot more. Some people might really like the aquatic nature a lot more. There's a lot going on here, but they all work together really well. And next is Burnt Remedy. And Burnt Remedy might be my personal favorite in the line. I really enjoy this one. This one is supposed to be inspired by personal experiences that the owner and perfumer had while working as a firefighter missing his wife. Notes in this are Hey Absolute, Propolis, which I'm not exactly sure what that is, smoked cashmere, vetiver, wet tobacco leaves, and chocolate. This is a really excellent smoky, spicy, woody type of scent. The smoky aspect is not too overwhelming, which is great here because a lot of times the smoke element can really overwhelm a fragrance. And I particularly like a fragrance when the smoky note is handled with care, and that one is here. You get a lot of the other dry notes like the tobacco and the hay, those are definitely in there. I don't necessarily get chocolate in this, but one thing I really get in this is nutmeg. And I really like that. Nutmeg apparently is not in this, but there's something in here that has that kind of nice warm spice to it, and it really adds a certain richness to this fragrance that is really great. As it dries down, it just gets better. It loses kind of the smoky quality, and a lot of those rich, dry notes come up, and that spice note is still there hanging around. It's just an excellent fragrance. Even though I do really love this line, I do have some criticisms that I'd like to share. It is a new line, and they're going to be working the kinks out, of course. But I do have a couple of things that I think will genuinely be helpful for the brand. One of the things is the cap. Now, I really like the idea of this cap. I think that it's just a brilliant design for having a cap that is a brain, talking about broken anatomy. But one of the things that I'll say is that the cap doesn't look as impressive in person as it does on camera. And I'm not really sure, it must be the mold that they're using or what, I'm not really sure. But there's some things I can see, like fingerprints that looks like that was in the mold. There's different seams from the mold. The actual brain is a little bit off kilter, just a little bit. And again, that has nothing to do with the scent at all. People will enjoy it just fine without the cap, without the bottle, just by enjoying the scent. But I do think that presentation is important, and I do think that the owner cares about that as well. So I think it's worth mentioning at least. Another thing that I'll say is that I don't necessarily think that every fragrance in this line needs to be extrait de parfum. Some fragrances benefit from an extrait type of concentration, while other fragrances are actually hurt with that type of concentration. I think a great example of this difference is between Burnt Remedy and Chasing Memories. Burnt Remedy is great as an extrait. All of those things really click and really work. While Chasing Memories, I think it actually suffers a little bit as an extrait. Sometimes whenever you smell a fragrance that is too strong, the fragrance actually smells crushed, like it's too concentrated to actually bloom and flower in the way that it should. Chasing Memories is that type of fragrance where it smells excellent, but I think that if it were a lesser concentration, it would actually smell and open up better and smell better because of it. I'm not one of those people who really cares about how long a fragrance lasts or how strong it is, and I personally think that that type of attitude is a little bit silly. So when a fragrance line comes out that is extrait de parfum, it tells me that that perfume line is trying to cater to that type of customer as if that's where most customers are, and I don't think that's the case at all. I personally think that they're in the minority, even within the fragrance community. I think what matters ultimately is, does it smell good? Does a perfume concentration need to be that strong? And if it does, great. But if it doesn't, I think that it should probably change in order to better suit and serve the smell, in order to make it smell better. Now, he may or may not take my advice at all. It doesn't really matter to me if he does. That's just my opinion. Even though Broken Anatomy only has 3 fragrances right now, I think they're off to a really great start. There are a few fragrance houses that I genuinely get excited about. A lot of times when a fragrance house comes out, I'm usually like, there's another one. But there is something different about this line. Maybe it's partly because of the bottles, maybe it's because the owner is just a really genuinely nice person, or maybe it's just because the scents are also very, very good with a unique perspective. Maybe it's everything all together. But Broken Anatomy is definitely worth trying. These bottles are 50 mils for $118, and that is really good, especially for an extrait de parfum. I've spent a lot more than that on an extrait before. So check out Broken Anatomy perfumes. I'll have a link down below to their website where you can go buy a sample set and go try it for yourself. Thanks for watching. Have you tried this line? Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I love you for it. I'll see you next time. I'm Daver with Fragrance Bros. Bye.